I did it.
Up now.
I did it. It's going to be in the book. Okay. I'll promote that come close to Christmas. But I did it. I wore it. I was all that.
You were out there and you enjoyed it.
I will say this too. Prior to when I was way smaller. Way small. I was in the dancing, and I was not stripping, but I don't have nothing against the strippers. Right. But I was a ballerina, and I was never small enough as a ballerina because I was because I was brown. I always had these hips. These hips ain't gonna change. And when I was dancing, I could never get a principal role because they was gonna give it to
the Twiggy,
more pale, and the hips that are not where I'm at. Okay, so I say that saying, even at a size 1, size 0.
Wow.
I felt I was fat.
Yeah. Wow.
I felt I was fat, and I was, but my bones couldn't go anywhere else.
Yes, I relate to that because I was a size 2 for a long time, but I was bulimic and anorexic. And it was like around 35 when I started feeling comfortable in my weight and my hips that I stopped it. But yeah, I was always slim. Like after the children, I just would go right into that and losing the weight. So everyone was like, you look great, your tone and everything, but I would struggle. I would actually eat food that would make me sick, so I could vomit and use the food as an excuse, or the food made my stomach to get rid of it. Right, so there was a whole cycle that went with the purging and the overindulgence and everything like that. And then people that were in my camp that knew it, I want to say that they were catalysts for me to continue on, but they were definitely not doing anything to stop it. I was receiving compliments on how I looked, rather than saying, you know what, how about you being healthy in your own skin? So I had to go within and do the work within myself.
That's where it begins.
You have to go in.
And question myself to say, what was I trying to fit into?
Right.
And it was really trying to fit into someone else's idea of what my body should look like, rather than what I do look like. And now, as you know, I'm very extremely comfortable with my body.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. And the outfit that you have on today, love it. I wanted to say something. I want to say, like, maybe in the mid-90s, early 2000s, back then how they portrayed things, you know, of course you thought you was fat, like you said, you was a size 2, because I was 16, I was a skinny mini, and I actually thought I was fat because it's what they projected back then. But even now, because things have changed, you know, curvy's in. And I can say right now, as a curvy girl, that I feel more confident about myself now than I did back then. Because the stipulations has changed, you know, the faces have changed. People have come up and they making a claim for the big girls. So I'm all for it, but it was just a different scenario from versus back then to now.
And I think Lizzo is truly
right. Wow.
for the big girl.
Definitely.
I was going to say Lizzo.
I wanted to say to Mika, I know a lot of times she takes pictures on Facebook, a lot of sexy pictures on Facebook, and she posts pictures up on Facebook. That's Mika. That's me. And there's a lot of people like, oh,
And you look good.
why does she post those pictures up, and why does she do it? That's her. That's what she does.
Right.
But we also have to take into account, we can't always judge what someone else is doing. Okay? What's good for her may not be good for you, but it's not for you to judge that person on what they're doing, because what they're doing all the time. And sometimes I might say, hey, you know, if something looks incorrect, I will say, because I'm her friend, I'll be like, Mika, check that, you know, as a friend, being critical of each other, but in a positive way. Some friends can't do that, or they feel like you're judging them because you're saying that. Like even my daughter, one day my daughter called me and she had these eyelashes that went like, you know. And you know, I had to pull her coat, you know, and of course, me being her mother, she's like, oh, mommy or whatever. And I said, listen, your friends may not tell you,
But you're looking great.
I am your mama, and I'm going to tell you, when you FaceTime me, you looking crazy.
You looking crazy.
Okay? Absolutely. So we are there to tell each other.
But the thing is, too, though, with that, because that's, oh my God, these eyelashes is killing me.
Oh my God.
And the eyebrows.
And the eyebrows. But you know what? See, but so did my graffiti clothing.
Right.
At that time. At that time.
That's what it was all about.
So it's the
lashes,
though. Crazy.
My hips showing, my pants were
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
And then comments.
It's this balance that we,
Yes.
I can't say
I get it for entertainment. I get it for entertainment. But when we walk in Walmart,
guess what?
and we walk in Target,
What is
what we're doing because we're taking entertainment
right?
and I'm on to the next level.
Right.
But what if that's what makes her feel like,
On the bomdiggity.com.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so hard. I'm trying to get this information.
I feel you.
I want this information.
But as a mother, I think she's just saying, as a mom, she still has to say something.
But she gotta say something as a mother.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
if it makes her feel good, no problem. But let me tell you, this is what I am seeing, and there's a lot of people that see it that way. Or if it's in your entertainment and you got to do it, I get it. But there's certain things for certain places, and it comes back to that. Right.
I mean, but when I was in high school, it was a fashion show.
Oh yeah, well, it was a fashion show for me. I had the guests, the Pele, the you know, the Paris. With the athletes and you the button them up to the.
I had to learn how to sew my permanent crease. I had no money. Take them to the dry cleaners. I had to sew my permanent crease. I used to take my sneakers. I used to draw on them. I used to create. I would say with that, if you're gonna go in that direction, young people, and you want to emulate, create your own emulation of it, so that you take that gift and that journey of creating, and you're gonna be able to take it somewhere else as you
evolve.
Because that's your creativity.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think every generation experiences the "oh my God" comments. You know, when we were kids, the hot pants came out. When I was a kid, the hot pants came out. I call myself, I was heading outside one day. I was heading outside one day in some red hot pants and some gladiator high heel sandals.
That's just like them eyelashes back then. Let me just call a spade a spade.
And my father saw me. My father saw me. I never made it out the house. So, you know what? Just as she may not be able to make it out the house,
Right.
or without your commenting, she gonna do what she wanna do. Because later on, when my father was in, I went back and put on the red hot pants and my gladiator sandals.
But I'm gonna say something to that too. My mother having me so young. My mother was very young, and she was living her own best life.
Right.
So I have to say, honestly, going out when most of my friends were doing some stuff with their clothes,
Right.
I wasn't doing it. I have to say, like, the very provocative, I was never really provocative with this.
So how old were you when you became?
More provocative.
More provocative. You know what it is? I think also as a dancer, I always was in leotards.
Okay.
So it wasn't as, I didn't need it when I was out in those streets. But when I went to the clubs, yeah, I had the shorts. I had the high boots. I had the bustiers. I had this one dress. It was all strips of leather and chain.
Just leather and chain.
Leather and chain. I had a designer. I used to pimp that hair and get my money and get my clothes. And I also have to say, in my industry of being a stylist, I was doing a lot of that because how you look, that's my business.
Right. That is the image. Being a stylist,
So
you have to do that.
I was doing a
get it.
lot, you know, but I want to say this to our women. First of all, one of the things growing up, again, being a certain shape, 170 pounds is the average weight of women now. That is that's true.
Right.
The average size of a woman is a 14 to 18.
14, absolutely.
Okay? So I say that to say, you know, growing up, if that's a real numbers, then those numbers, maybe they were lower when I was younger. I'm not really sure. Can't be that much lower. If I was more than 115 pounds, I was stressing.
Right.
Wow.
I was stressing. I could never allow myself to get more. And my friends out there know. I'm like, oh, we're going out on Friday? Okay, Tuesday I stop eating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like Daisy with you. I was 5'9"
You know what I'm saying?
and 125 pounds.
Yeah. So
If I
I'm
went over 125, like if I hit that 127, it was just like I'm not eating for a couple of days and whatever to bring that down. It would come down quick.
it would come down quick.
5'9", 125.
Wow.
So, you know, I'm saying, and that's not healthy.
No, it isn't. It really isn't. You destroy your internal organs,
Yes.
Right.
and it may not seriously affect you at the moment, but believe me, as you age,
Yep.
what you've done to your body
Yep, it'll show
will
up.
do back to you.
show up.
Right.
So, you know, it's like what goes around comes around.
Yes.
Your body is going to get you for the things you have done to it.
But people don't think about that.
No,
They don't think about it late.
They don't.
They don't think about it.
Because when you're young, you know, you don't think about any of that.
Right.
Nothing's
You
going
don't
to
think
happen to
about
me. I'm like,
And like you just said,
But
you
now
could lose
even
that
with
weight like this.
With K. Michelle,
back then you didn't
y'all
eat
know
for a
K.
couple
Michelle's story. When
Right.
K. Michelle first came
That's
out,
a
she
perfect
had
story.
to
That's
go
a
for
perfect
that
story,
look.
K. Michelle.
And then a couple of people who don't know, a couple of years later, she had to remove the stuff because
Right.
it was hurting her body. And I was like, see, you don't think about that stuff.
who is this?
K. Michelle, the artist, and
She BBL. Well, her behind kept growing.
right,
Where she had
And
that
growing.
right.
Yeah, the BBL. Yeah. And to a point where it became so extreme that it was hurting her.
Right.
Well, she had to
Sean's-
reverse everything.
Sean did the BET Hip Hop Awards. And he was performing on that show, and she performed on that show. And that was the first time he had ever met her. And he called me. He said, "There's something wrong with this girl.
Wow.
Like she looked like a cartoon,
Wow.
like a caricature of what a
And she
body
did.
could be. I mean, when you see people on television, it might have more proportion, but
Right.
because she technically is so tiny, it was like.
Wow.
He said it was
That's crazy.
one of the it
crazy.
almost it saddened him
Wow.
because
It doesn't look real.
it didn't it was it wasn't
Yeah.
human.
As I remember watching the
Human.
awards that day. I think when I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was her real body. I never knew.
Did you? Absolutely no.
I
You could
had
tell that
no
wasn't.
idea.
Mhm.
And let me just say, you know, that even when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, you know, I had two of my best friends who were sisters had these big old bubble butts. Now, I've always had hips.
The
Big
party
hips
is
and
left
legs.
to right.
The party is left to right.
Anything on this, I am not your girl.
And you know what? And it just it got to the point where it annoyed me because they always made a point of it. So what I said to them was, that's fine if I plan to be a pole dancer. But I don't plan to be a pole dancer, so I'm good like this. I literally said that to them. You know, I'm good. You know, I didn't feel like I had to go get a BBL. Well, we didn't know what the hell a
no,
BBL was. I didn't know until recently.
I didn't know till today.
You know,
You know that Facebook meme? When did you find out? Today.
Really?
I didn't even know. I really was a sandwich.
Oh yeah. That's been a talk around my house, BBL. So I know about the BBL.
Yeah, so you know what, I wanted, and from age like 14, 15, I was always a chunky girl, you know, but I had a shape, but like I said, I never had a big butt. I had big hips and big legs. That's what I had, and big boobs. But I was shaped like an hourglass.
Yes.
So I was fine, you know, with who I was. I didn't feel like my shape, my boobs, my butt defined who I was. I said, you know what? Intelligent, and one of the things I realized, intelligence trumps booty.
And
Every day, all day.
Yes,
Okay?
absolutely.
And I took a lot of pride. And see, their mother, whenever their mother wanted something written or something evaluated, she didn't call them with the big booties. She called me. You know? So intelligence trumps all of that craziness every day.
Yes,
and
that's
it doesn't
right.
matter. You know, I had the gastric bypass surgery back in 2001. I didn't do it because I had a problem with my body. My body was starting to have a problem with me. I was starting to feel the
the
physical effects
That's right.
from health issues.
Yeah.
And that's why I did it, because
Right.
you know what? I always went in search of what looked good on me. I didn't go to buy something based on what somebody else was wearing. And my girlfriend Dory had at
And
the
she was
time
300 pounds.
Yeah,
Never
almost
saw it.
And you know, people, when I lost
Never
all
saw
the
it.
weight, people said, I don't, and they saw pictures of me and they said, we don't realize you were that big. I said, because I didn't walk around with a fat girl sign on my forehead.
No,
Okay,
the confidence.
It was the
confidence is
in
a
myself.
different
Right.
piece.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned Lizzo. There was a confidence that she has.
Yes.
Let's even say go as far as even back in the days, and her name was Twiggy, which was something you and I would the model Twiggy, very very thin. She had a confidence about herself. So the extremes of bodies is when you have that confidence. I have, and my girl probably might be watching, Sandella, who was a business partner of mine when we had the salon in New York. She's a big woman, and I'm, and I never seen. There's nobody that dressed better than her. Ain't nobody. And she would rock her clothes and the confidence, and
Absolutely.
so
And that's what I did.
never saw her, and that word can't come out your mouth.
Right.
Bathing suits, having a great time, just enjoying life because she had confidence. She was talented.
Absolutely.
She loved herself. She
Absolutely.
believed in herself. And men ridiculously was corny.
Yeah, you know what? I think I was the man drawer. And no matter what my size, I was always the man drawer with my girlfriends, you know.
I think, the men definitely play a role nowadays with what they're looking for in a woman, and then make them think that, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Some of them believe, that looking like this will get them,
A man.
And sometimes you just gotta be confident. Listen, if you don't like me like this, then I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Some of them can't be like that.
Right.
When I was younger, I had a nice shape growing up. Nice shape, one of the popular girls in school, couldn't tell me nothing. I was, had everything I needed. I kept it moving. It wasn't until after I had my children where I began to gain the weight. So when I gained the weight after my kids, I, said, I'm not comfortable as a fat girl.
Right.
Right.
And me knowing that I'm not comfortable like that, I needed to change it. Some people are okay with it. My mother was okay with it.
Yeah.
But know what you're okay with.
Right.
So if I know I'm not comfortable as a fat girl, then I need to change that.
change that.
And that's
What you
when
need
I
to do.
became into, I need to go on a health kick. I need to focus on my health. Do what I need to do to start to drop
Did you
the
need to
weight.
get the surgery or anything like that? The sleeve or the bariatric?
We're gonna talk about that too. Because we got a doctor that's actually gonna come in and talk about all that
the
information.
bariatric
So
surgeries.
I lost the weight on my own. I went and had got certified as a certified trainer with J.J. Smith for the Green Smoothie Cleanse. So I train people on how to do the cleanse and detox the system. It's really about the discipline within that that people miss because they're worried about, I got to drink another green smoothie.
Right,
But if you can get through that discipline, then you can do anything,
Right,
and you have to
absolutely.
continuously do it because it takes years and years and years to continuously break something. It takes, what did I say? It takes, 30 days?
It takes 30 days to break a habit.
And you have to do it consistently in order to break that habit. Okay,
Exactly.
so with that, I lost 40 pounds on my own, okay, and then I decided, well, you know what? I like this thing called health. I think I want to take it a little bit further, and I'd like to help other people do it. And it was like 5 of us in a group when we started this group on Facebook, and we would just go back and forth with each other, just doing the green smoothie cleanse, and then we got certified. And I said, okay, I had dropped the weight, and then I had gained some weight again, and then I said, what else can I do
Right.
to
What's
help
your
other
lifestyle?
women decide what the choices that they're going to make in life?
That's good right there, the choices.
The choices that they're
choices.
going
And
to make
that's
in
so
life.
important.
And knowing how the insurance companies work, I said, okay, well, I wasn't huge, but I said, well, there's other methods out there. Let me see what happens. And that's when it came into play. They got a sleeve. Okay. So I said, well, let me talk to the doctor about it and see what happens. And maybe, if I am approved, then I'm supposed to be doing that because I'm supposed to be helping other people who need to get through the process.
And it's only a tool.
And it's only a tool. However,
Not a magic pill, it's a tool.
I passed by this much to be approved for it.
Because a lot of times you have to be morbidly obese, in order to get
the gastric bypass surgery.
So when they approved me of the sleeve, I went and I did it. Okay, so that was another tool. However,
Because you'll bust out the sleeve. People don't understand that. It's not.
it is not what you think. You have to work.
You have to do the work.
You
go
will
along
gain
with it.
back.
I've seen many people.
It is
Yeah.
not a joke. You have to do the work. You have to eat right. You have to focus. I'm keto now. I do keto. There's days when I cheat. I'm back down to my regular weight, and I go to a nutritionist. We follow up with the nutritionist. I also am looking into becoming a nutritionist as well, and also I run a group on Facebook called Our Health Matters,
Yes.
where I try and help people to do, what is best for them.
Absolutely.
And again, what's best for me might not be best for you,
them.
but post what works for you in that particular
Absolutely.
group.
But you know
And the
what?
support,
Also-
and the support group.
And the support. Also, you have to be willing to work with yourself.
And the same.
Okay? Even when I at my largest, I went around, I tried on different outfits. I wanted to know what worked for my body, not what worked for all of the images I saw around me. What worked for my body? What colors look good on me? What styles look good on me? What do I feel good in? And that's the key right there. But you've got to have a level of confidence in yourself in order to do all that. Because I've seen women who are big women, and they will sit around like this.
And pull. And you know they will tell you that they're comfortable.
Terrible.
Right.
Insecurity.
That hunch, tall women that hunch,
That hunch.
because they don't want to. Because again,
They want to shrink
you,
themselves.
especially back to days in school where you had the size, you line up in size order.
And people tell you how to be
And then you're in the
line.
back of the line.
Right.
And so, and then there's that phase where boys are smaller and girls are getting taller. And
Right.
So then the girl is like, I mean,
Because
I
she
know
wants to
so
attract the
many
boy.
that want to shrink
Just cringe. They
themselves.
cringe themselves.
And I know you wanted to share something.
Yeah, so listen, I got big arms, right? And I don't care about my arms. I say all the time, I got sumo arms wrestlers, right? So I laugh at myself. But back in the days, my arms was a little bit smaller. Do you know, literally, when I would go outside, it can be 90 degrees outside. I would have a sweater on because I felt so insecure about my arms. My arms has always been the biggest, but it's like I said, I keep laughing at myself because this is my biggest, and I don't care because I feel good within myself.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, so the sweater thing was crazy. Who wears a sweater at 90 degrees weather?
Zyla.
And I thought I was fat. I was only a size 12. I was a size 12.
But I can say that you are confident in it. Although you want to lose some of the weight, and you do say, she's been in the 10-day green smoothie cleanse, and she doesn't carry it like, but you can tell the difference between someone who carries it with confidence and someone who's like,
really,
I got big girl curves, but yet they're still,
They're looking at their clothes and they sit like this.
right.
well, I wanted to share with our listeners about the bullying in reference to we're selfies and all of this is happening. We're in that kind of a community now where everybody's sharing every moment of their lives with the world. And again, you're looking at celebrities doing the same thing and you're trying to mimic. And we just lost Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Okay, from Black Panther.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share that during the last time, those last few months of his life, he took himself off of social media. And the reason he did is because when people got snapshots of him, they were trolling and saying such horrible things, not knowing what was going on with his body.
Yeah, that he was dying.
And I have to say, I had saw a picture of him a few months back, and I personally thought he was getting prepared for a role.
I did too.
But the hurt and the pain, and so here's a man that
Social media.
gave so much of his life. 4 years he knew about it, so he might have 5 or 6 years, 2 years probably didn't, and did such amazing work, did such physical pieces, made brown and all people see a brown superhero and a euphoric environment called Wakanda, and one of the largest selling movies of all time. And he did that, going through all of this, and that last portion of his life. I'm gonna say we, as because of us as a people, he didn't feel that love. Because of body shaming.
Exactly.
We gotta stop.
People gotta stop that nonsense.
And we
Because
gotta
you know
stop.
what? We're all members of the human family. It doesn't matter what culture, what color, or what complexion. I mean, I've lived all my life being called everything but black, white girl, red bone. Albino, everything. So I had to fight to be black. Like, really? Like, come on. Now I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn anymore.
She need an after 10 show.
She need an after 10 show.
You know, we've got to define ourselves for ourselves and start allowing social media and other people to mistreat us, to define us, to allow their bogus perceptions of who we are to infect our souls and thus affect how we feel about ourselves and the world as a whole.
So that's why I started the Heal Thy Body Foundation.
Right.
And as a nonprofit, we have the Facebook page, and it's to deal with the Heal Thy Body Foundation was to be the voice of the voiceless.
Right.
Because somewhere in there you lose your voice. So I deal with the mind, body, and the spirit. Because I believe that all three works together.
It must.
It
must.
starts with how you feel within your spirit.
Absolutely.
Then it goes to you mentally, and then it transpires through your physicality.
Absolutely.
So most of our diseases are caused about the disease of our mental state, from a broken spirit. So at the foundation, that's what we speak about.
Dis-ease of the mind creates disease of the body.
Yes.
You know,
transmute.
while you're saying that, and I usually never tell anybody, but I'm going to say it here, because of what Daisy said. I also have lupus. And I haven't told many people that. People don't, and I don't share that with many people because I don't want people to say, oh, what's going, because I don't want anybody to look at it like that, because it's how you, how you think of it.
Right.
I'm not on any medication.
Hello.
I don't have, it's because I take care of myself. Think of how you're thinking. Heal thy body, what you're putting into your body. There's certain things that you like, certain things that I notice that because of my lupus that I have, but I keep it moving, I don't focus on that. So I don't have, I kind of channel that energy out, channel it out, channel it out, and continue.
It'll make
Exactly. From the day, and it's funny because
And I've
they
had operations.
recognized that something was going on with her when she was 8 years old, and they went through a number of diagnoses. And me being her mother, I said, "That's not it. That's not it." I was at a conference, at a breakfast conference one morning, and the doctor who was speaking was a lupus specialist, and he had visuals. I said, "Oh my God, it's lupus." I got up from the table, went out into the hallway, and just cried. I walked up and down and cried for a little while because she was, by then she was 19, but we knew it was something. But one of the things I said, I was not going to make her live as a sick child.
Right.
We're going to live our lives and put energy into living, not being sick or dying. And we've always lived like that. Even me, when I was, last year or so, I have not felt very well. And much of what I've done has been in response to was in response to my not feeling well. And when I finally ended up in the hospital in April and found out I had a gastric stricture, and then realized there were some things I needed to do, some changes I needed to make, I got with the program. I didn't sit back and say, "Oh, woe is me," or feel sorry for myself, or look for attention. I began immediately doing what I needed to do to get back on track. And once I got back on track, I feel like $1 million now. I feel better than I have felt in about a year. And, sometimes we don't listen to our bodies.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest mistakes, because let me tell you, what goes on up here affects what's going on in here. And so it starts here, okay? And then it trickles down into the rest of your body. So if you're not feeling good about your body, then that's being processed and affecting everything else, right, Daisy?
Yeah, that's what the whole foundation is structured around, dealing with those three different aspects in a unity.
Absolutely. It has to work together, mind, body, and spirit.
And
Yes.
for
I
those
think he
people
was-
to make the connections.
I think he was feeling good within himself, like, because he didn't tell nobody he was sick because he didn't want nobody to feel sorry for him.
Right.
He was okay. I'm pretty sure he was loved
His
by
mind
his
was
family.
strong.
Yeah.
You know, I did see a picture of him, and I was thinking, you know, something is not right. But it wasn't, you know, in my mind, I wasn't thinking, oh my God, it's
Well, you don't-
drugs, you know.
Yeah,
like,
but you're not that type of individual.
Right.
People that are kooky, if they're just constantly texting and again, because we are so in connection with each other.
Right.
You know, but again, here you have this brilliant, wonderful man who does have structure and does have a situation, and he could kind of tune that out. But Zyla, your children, our children, where that's happening with someone saying, oh, just go die, you fat this, or you this.
Right.
They are
can't handle it.
struggling with this, especially because this is all they know. This is their entertainment.
That's
We
coming
had,
down.
Right.
and it's also their reality.
And now I'm seeing online, everybody's feeling sorry. Oh my God, we didn't know he was sick. You know, or
yeah,
you know,
right.
we wish we didn't make fun of him. But why did you?
I'll be
Why-
honest.
It's the disease, like you said, that's in the mind.
Yeah, it's the
discussing
mind,
it.
right? Definitely, like, because, like I said, I saw a picture. Automatically, I was like, oh, something
But it
is
was
not
discussed,
right. Like,
but it
I'm
was
thinking
swept under the
healthy,
rug,
like
though.
his health. I wasn't thinking nothing about he's on drugs. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking.
I really thought he was
you know
getting
what?
ready for a role. I swear to God, that's what I
And you
thought.
know what? Daisy and I were talking before we came in, and I said to Daisy, I take a lot of selfies of myself, and I even share them on Facebook because I can't see myself unless I take a picture of myself. When I take pictures of myself, I can literally look at myself and say, something's wrong.
Right.
So I can see myself.
Right.
And so, you know, even when I smile, I can see past that smile. You know what I'm saying? So I can see to what extent is what's going on with me affecting me. And I can see that. Take a lot of selfies of yourself. Love yourself enough to take pictures of yourself and look at yourself.
Right.
Because absolutely.
Very quickly, 888-304-4401, 888-304-4401 for all of our calls in. What happened?
Yep. At 3, we're getting ready to take the call in. So, again, 888-304-4401.
This is
We want to hear from you on this topic.
And I just want to say also too that I've been in remission from it. So
Because of
for
your
many
diet.
years, but my diet,
Your diet.
how I eat,
Good.
you
The way
know,
you think
what
about
I do, my perception of it. You have to think
being
in another way
positive,
and just
you know.
stay
Absolutely.
positive with what you're doing.
You're literally
you know,
healing yourself
and
mentally.
keep
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what I said. There may be days that I have challenges, or you know, my hair might be a little bit thin or something like that, but I don't focus on that.
Right.
You know, focus on the positive.
still
I have so
beautiful, no
much
matter
stuff
what.
to do that I can't focus on that. But I do remember one day when I was in skate key, because I used to go skate key all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Skate
She
key.
was
Oh
in
my
skate
God.
key, yeah.
I didn't party, Tiff. I didn't party, but you
she
should
went to
find me in
skate
skate key. Okay, skate key. So I fell one time, and nobody really knew, because back then nobody knew what was going on, but I couldn't get up. But I would crawl and pull myself up on my own on the banisters, but that was because I was weak. So I had to pull myself up to get. But I never told anybody that I was
Right.
gonna. And there were some days where I couldn't even tie my freaking shoe, and I used to push myself to tie my shoe,
Right.
and I used to keep pushing myself to tie my shoe. So eventually, I was able to tie my shoe.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell people that this is what was happening, but I would move on my own.
Right.
So, and skate key or whatever, when we would, if I would fall, sometimes it would take me longer to get up, and it was like, oh, and I would have to pull or go to a banister. Nobody knew that, but I would, because I was too, I would actually have to pull myself up. You know, and I had symptoms in my eyes, and I had discoloration. All my coloration has come back. You know, but again, it's how we eat, how we eat, and what we focus on.
And how what we think about ourselves. Self-love is so vital to the process of life. Because with self-love, you take better care of
And
yourself.
it's for you to define what self-love is, not for someone outside of you to say, I don't think you're loving yourself correctly. Like, oh, when did you get your
Absolutely.
PhD in me?
Hello, girl. Ain't that the truth? Because people will think that they have the answers for you. They don't have the answers for themselves. It's easier to go and try and fix somebody else than it is to fix yourself. Okay?
Right.
And let me tell you, I can understand why people don't do it, because doing that deep introspective spiritual work is, oh my God.
You're not skipping through the daisies. You are on the floor crying
Some days you're crying.
Turning off the phones. You just don't want to, because you got to do within with yourself to love
Absolutely.
yourself. And that's okay to check out for yourself,
Absolutely,
to
Daisy.
balance.
Absolutely.
And part of it too is we are constantly looking for the quick fix.
And the magic pill.
And the magic
There
pill.
is none.
$1 billion industry is abs in 15 minutes.
Yeah, like really?
And all these other quick fixes. So I'm going to drink all the alcohol I want to drink, eat all the whatever I want to eat, and then when I'm 35, I'm going to go get the Botox so that it clears that away instead of, or get the lipo, instead of, I'm not saying, again, to those out there that are utilizing those tools, if it makes you feel what you need to so that you feel beautiful about yourself, I'm not here to say that. I'm not here to say don't get the weave. I'm not here to say don't have the eyelashes or get the nails.
Identify the underlying cause behind that.
But when you do that, are you satisfied? Was it just, again, during quarantine, my nails was looking crazy, and I couldn't stand, I couldn't stand, again, beating myself up. I did hair for almost 30 years. My hands look old. They were always in water. They was this, so getting the nails gave me some attraction, I felt, to that. But that being said, I hear baby.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's But that being said, we want you to know that we love you, and these are just conversations to help you through your process of understanding that the curves work, understanding that the thin works, but as long as it belongs to you and you own the pieces of who you are and the pieces that you don't like about yourself, because of the indulgence that you gave to yourself, or the sadness that you acquired, or the relationship that said certain things about you, start healing your mind.
Exactly.
One of the things I will say with the women, with us as women, growing up being little girls, one of the biggest things was someone saying, "Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, she's so pretty." But boys, they don't do that. Oh, he's strong. Oh,
He's handsome.
But the acronyms are not so much caught up in looks with the boy as much as it is with a girl. So when we're growing up as a little goobers, we gotta hear that to feel important. Instead of saying, "Yo, she's smart."
Right.
Oh, she should be a doctor. Oh, it's like you see somebody, a little girl that's told, "Oh, she should be a model," versus
she should be an engineer.
Right.
So we gotta work on these titles that we are giving these little girls, because then they won't be like with Daisy at 35, figuring it out. I'm not gonna throw up no more. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly what I had to say. I stopped myself and I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And it was a struggle.
It was a struggle.
I was really addicted to it because for 20 years, that's what I was doing. I started when I was in high school. So I had to reverse that thought process. And even as the weight was starting to come back on, being okay with it as it was coming on.
Absolutely.
It was coming on quickly.
Yeah.
So I was never trained I never trained myself on how to work out properly or to eat properly. So it was a whole education surrounding that.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm only 12 years young in the process of healthy lifestyle as it pertains to my well-being.
Right. And I think for me, it didn't start till 47, and after I had left my job, and I'm like, okay, I didn't have the title anymore. I wasn't this big community person anymore. At some point I had to give up my mink coat, my fly car.
Let's go get it again. See, when you did it once, you can do it again. Let me just say that.
I gave up all of that because you know what? I acquired everything that this world tells you that you need to be happy. But there was something missing, and I didn't know what it was. When I walked away from my job, everyone thought I had lost my mind.
Right.
Even I did for a while. But I knew that there was a higher calling. There was a calling on my life that I no longer could ignore. I mean, I had already been preparing for it, but finally, like, boom. You know, you gotta, and I tell people, you've got to make, when you're doing the spiritual work, going to church doesn't necessarily mean you're doing the spiritual work. You're doing the religious work.
Say that one more time for those in the back. You gotta shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Where's the tray?
The spiritual work is between us and God.
Right.
And you got to be willing, you know, stop teaching, pastors and church people, stop teaching people to fear God, fear the Lord, okay? Because every time you're afraid, if you're afraid of God, you're not going to draw closer to God.
Right. You're going to be afraid of yourself.
You're afraid of yourself. Exactly. I tell people, when people say to me, are you a God-fearing woman? I said, absolutely not. I'm a God-loving woman.
Yes,
I can feel God's presence working in me, with me, for me, and through me, for not just my good, but the greater good of everyone.
It's funny you should say that because I shared Bishop Williams' church service this morning. And I listened to his service this morning, a little bit of his service, and I'm not the biggest church person, you know, just because of you know, I can't.
Right.
But I listened to his service this morning, and he said something that he said, the woman is not going to hell because she doesn't wear pants. I said, hello, thank you, that's my church right there. You know, somebody that's in there that is preaching but not telling you you're going to hell because you wearing pants.
And it's so funny you said it.
But this is how it is thought in my country, because like I grew up in a Christian family. We had a church right there by our house. So
you lived
to me, every day we had to go to church. So basically, in my country, it's like you wear big earrings like that. There's no.
You were the devil's child.
You can't do none of that stuff.
Right.
So
I hear you. There are a lot of cultures.
And by the way, I'm not allowed in my aunt's house because I have tattoos, so she won't let me in. Things like that. Piercing and all of that. But I can't.
Religion. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Religion to a large extent.
Yes.
To a large extent is the problem. Okay, because
that's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show. And people are conditioned to believe certain things that are counterproductive to human life.
Right.
You know, and I could never understand when I was going to church. I went for a while, but I would sit there and say, they do the same thing every week.
That's a whole other show.
Rituals and I say they do the whole same thing every week. I'm like, nobody's really growing. There's
like a sheep.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, and I would see things, and I was
what you gonna say, Tiff?
You know, what I'm gonna say is we definitely gonna have the topic on that.
Yes,
because that's a whole.
But I will maybe we can have some of the pastors with us.
That's a whole sermon. I'm gonna add to body shaming in reference to that. So my church in New York, Antioch Baptist Church of Corona, Dr. Reverend Marvin J. Bentley. I used to do his hair, and he had invited me to church. This is how this relationship was, how I met him. I didn't meet him as a pastor per se, even though they called him Rev. I didn't really think he was a reverend. He was too cool, but he actually was. Huge congregation, all of that. And he was like, you need to come to service. And I said, look, Rev.
Look, Rev, you all do me.
Right. I said, as I walked in today, we said this, I go to the club on Saturday night. You know, he said, so what do you do after? I said, I go get breakfast. He said, what you do after that? I said, I go home. He said, don't go home. Come to church. And I said, I'm having my party clothes. And he said, come as you are.
Yeah.
Now, that's the reason I went. Now, that being said, saints, when I was in the church. That's right. When I was in the church, this woman came up to me. Now, again, I'm still slick. Let me just also be very clear with this. Came up to me and said, because I had on a little mini skirt, she said, well, where's the rest of your skirt? And she was a full
she was a holy
woman, a full woman.
A holy woman.
I said, they ran out of material after making your outfit. So I'm going to say...
Give me a drink of water.
I'm going to say... And here comes the king.
I love it.
We're still in session. They're still in session. This is what happens. Your man brings you... So let me tell you something about this. Angel Brinks. This is one size fits all. It got a lot of spandex. You can go small. When you wear this, your man brings you lunch.
You said it works for hours.
You know, but the bottom line here is we've got to stop letting people tell us who we are.
That's right.
Okay, God told me who I am. After that, I was straight. I'm straight for the rest of my life and every life thereafter.
When people say, I don't think you're doing the work. I don't think you're doing the root work. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and what gave you that authority or that?
But you know what? But but this is, again, loving yourself.
Absolutely.
Being okay and getting to the point of understanding that the outside world is going to give you some energy. They're going to give you some conversation. How you process it is the work. There's some people coming to you and saying something, and it may be accurate. Now, I don't want to sit there and say every girlfriend that said something was wrong. There's some accuracy in some of it. Some of it there is. Some of it is malice. Some of it in that malice might be some truth too.
Absolutely.
But the more you are closer to your inner self, again, not fearing God because God is within.
That's right.
The more you get closer to that,
That's right.
the more you can start navigating through what really is going to work for you and at what time in your life is it going to work for you. That's the growth. I'm still in the growth.
Right.
I tell y'all all the time, this is not real estate, boom, hair, boom, I got that. A lot of that, and I'm still learning and growing in that. However, with working on me every day above ground is another day to learn something more about being better, about glowing, and when I'm not feeling my best, keeping a good culture around you.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, and your women love, your friendships, your sisterships, keeping that around you to help you through that process and that journey. I just love y'all.
Yeah, I love you. I think the energy between all of us, we feed each other. Energy feeds us.
Right.
And the caliber of energy someone is feeding us, we've got to be very particular about. Okay, I don't do toxic energy, therefore I don't do toxic people.
Right.
Okay, and once you come into my life and I identify you as someone who's toxic, bye.
Right.
And the bottom line here is, you know, the telling point is what happens when you say bye-bye. Okay? And if someone says, what happens when you say bye-bye? If people move on and begin to dog you, you did the right thing. That's the confirmation that you did the right thing.
Right.
You know? No matter how many times I've said bye-bye, I've let them go on. I'm not going to talk bad about you.
Send you some white light.
I'm not send you some white light and some love and whatever. And then I don't think about you again.
That's right.
That's it. I move on because I have my own life to live.
Right, I delete them
Polima's
mentally.
over there.
Yeah.
People that come up to me and they're like, oh my God, how are you? And I'm just like, rewind, back to what, what's her name again? They're totally deleted from my, and they'll be
Absolutely. When I got married, when the 2-month marriage ended, I had the most
All right, Mama C.
beautiful wedding
It's a 2
pictures
months, yeah.
ever.
She did say that.
It was simple,
Yeah, it was 2 months.
whatever. They
It's
went,
2 months for real.
it was too much
Really?
real, yeah.
It was
I
too
think
much
my
for real.
mother
It was
did the
too much
same
for
thing.
real. It was
too much for
However,
real.
she never got the divorce. It just ended in 2 months, but then.
Okay, we got the
See,
divorce.
that's what
In
you
6
need to
months
do.
we were divorced.
Wow.
And I gave the wedding album to my girlfriend because she turned her boutique into a chapel. It was beautiful.
So
it
she
was
needed-
beautiful. So I gave her that, and I took the wedding video and dumped it down the incinerator. I took any pictures, any reminder, and that's
When
how
they
you get
tell
rid of
you-
people from you.
When they tell you
You
to
never
listen,
took pictures of
when
the-
they tell you to listen to your kids, sometimes you need to listen to your children.
Yes, you do.
Because that time when she had that wedding in that boutique,
there.
y'all should have seen how I came up in that wedding.
She came up in
That's
there.
another.
That's another story.
Let me tell you.
That's another
We don't
story.
have time.
What are you trying to say?
So what I'm gonna say is this: I gotta, mommy, my mother. I know you. If you wasn't watching, now I know you watching. I'm gonna tell it, but I'm gonna ask your permission first.
That's a good daughter.
But what I
You
want
feel
to say,
that one, right? Okay.
I do. But I wanna share. You know, we talked about how imagery out there can hurt us and make us feel inadequate about ourselves.
Absolutely.
I also want y'all to recognize that the images out there can actually also help you. Now, that being said, being a stylist for 30 years and being a celebrity stylist for most of that 30 years, we got paid a lot of money to create image. So instead of trying to find that person out there that you want to try to morph yourself into, look at who you are.
Absolutely.
And then see a celebrity out there that favors the who you really are.
Mine is Raquel Welch.
Okay.
Oh, I love her.
Raquel Welch.
Well, millions
Lisa
of
Regina
dollars.
King.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
Millions of dollars, hours have been given to them to create an image. So if you see someone that really does favor you, your real being, then play with maybe those colors, play with maybe those outfit simulations.
Right, right.
And then you will start to see the beauty within yourself.
Absolutely.
And the attitude. If you are a curvy woman but don't have a Lizzo attitude, don't go into the Lizzo clothes.
Right.
But you might go into a Jill Scott clothing.
Yeah,
You understand?
Right.
If you got a Lizzo attitude, do it.
Exactly.
I'm not saying do it. If you have a Lizzo attitude, do it. But if you don't, and you have more of a Jill Scott attitude, go with the Jill Scott look. Because I'm telling you, we got paid a lot of money to create image. So we know what we're doing. And it looks good, but you also have to have that being to make it look even better. Because this will fit anybody. It is one size fits all, but it don't fit everybody if your head, if
Ain't
you
in the
put it
right
on and
place.
you're like,
Right.
then
exactly.
you got to be like, what? And then if you have on your business suit, you got to be like, what? If it's Chanel or if it's Target, you got to be like, what?
This is me.
And whatever in between, you will be as beautiful, as sexy as you can possibly be.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I've always gone for the classy and sassy look. Okay, that's me.
Like a Diane
I'm
Castle.
I'm classy and sassy. That's who I am, and I'm okay with that. Classy, sassy, and sensational.
I'm a savage.
You know? I'm bougie. She bougie, yeah. But she always claimed that I was bougie, you know? No, I was classy and sassy, you know? She got it twisted, you know? But the bottom line here is you got to figure out yourself.
Right.
Figure out yourself. Don't let other people figure you out.
Exactly.
That's right.
Because they can't.
Right.
Okay? They can't. They're only surmising. A lot of times people will tell you something about yourself because they're jealous. Okay?
Say it one more time for those in the back.
Sometimes people will tell you certain things because they're jealous. They can't wear
People in the
it.
cheap
They
seats.
are not confident enough to wear it or have that look or whatever. And so now they're going to try and pull you down where they are.
As I would say, that's your problem, not mine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's the slogan? Problem? Yeah, I'm not the problem. I'm not the problem.
Exactly.
We got
How
about
you feel? That is your business.
we got about 10 minutes, and what kind of responses have you been getting to some of your photographs?
So they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't pay no mind for that.
Okay.
Like if it's not like
She's not open, that's why.
yeah,
What
if
does
it's
that
not
mean?
like
Her friends, her friend,
My
she's
friends
only
support
friends.
me, you
It's
know?
not open to the public, so not everybody sees it.
right. It's only my friends. Like
Right.
so, like if somebody says something, it's always support. Oh, you know.
Oh, you look fly.
Yeah,
you
you
look
know.
fabulous.
Or I have one friend that's you again. Or something like that. So it's never nothing negative, you know. And like I said, if it is negative, take it somewhere else because I don't care what you think.
Absolutely, but you know what? I think that that's so important. Again, that we do pictures of ourselves and that we post them, because I think at different ages and stages in the female development, women start feeling like they're not beautiful anymore. You know, I may be 66, but I believe I'm beautiful.
Yes.
I'm very beautiful.
Yes.
I feel beautiful. I don't have to wear anything particular to try and impress anybody. I'm already impressed with me.
Like I said, I
You know?
feel pretty at this age than I did in my early 20s.
Yeah,
my 30s, you know?
Once you shake off all the garbage,
Yeah.
Right.
that's when you begin to feel good about
She's
yourself.
been quiet over there.
Been
What about
quiet.
I've been letting y'all speak, but I do want to say something for all the ladies that's considering doing alterations to your body. I want you to keep two things in mind. I want to say, one, you got to think about how your body is going to react to once you do it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And then two, make sure you go to the right person, because I actually did a story on this a couple of months ago. There was a young lady, she was a hairstylist, and they used to always make fun of her. Oh, you got a flat butt, and somebody told her, like, I know you want to get some work done. Let me give you some information. Long story short, in the run, she had to get her arms and her legs amputated. Because she went to the wrong person. So I'm just saying, if you choose to,
Real silicone. Like people are putting Home Depot.
Right.
And even Cardi B said she went to one of those basement places to get things done. And again, because
Wow, that's scary.
getting things done on a budget is, and I know, the dancing world and I love all my people. And I know a lot of dancers out there. And that's how you can make your money.
Right.
You got to get your boobs. You got to get the booty done. I didn't know the acronym for it, but I know you get these things done, and because of the budget, and you want to try to compete with whatever you see out there, the money's funny. So you're getting people that are not MDs.
Correct.
That are in there, no anesthesia. And I'm not going to front. I did go for a consultation. Because, you know, my head, my own issue.
Yeah, at the time,
I will say, one of the reasons I didn't, I've never been in a hospital except to give birth. I've never been sick. I've never had a surgery. I've never had anything. I've never had anesthesia of any kind, not even for dental work. I've never had anesthesia. And I said, and Kanye's mom passed because of this.
Yes,
And I said, this is me just being outside body talking to myself. If you die over some anesthesia for some selected voluntary surgery, what kind of fool are you? Like if I broke something and I had to get anesthesia, at least I know how it reacts to my body, because I don't know how it will react.
Right.
I said, this doesn't make sense. Like this can't be the first time you go to get something, something happened. This can't be the first doctor's visit you have, and something happens.
Right.
So that's what stopped me. That's what totally stopped me. So what you're saying, accurate, please. No.
You're supposed to do research too, right?
Absolutely.
Talk to your family, your friends, you know.
Well, these girls are getting research. They're going to somebody in the basement that somebody else went into the basement.
Somebody that you actually knew, or that
No, this is an article that I did on my show.
Okay,
because I researched this article.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
So you did
right.
Quick
And
question:
commentary.
have y'all guys ever watched the show She Has Got to Have It on Netflix?
Yeah.
Did you see the part
Where the girls filmed before?
when she went to this underground person in the motel and
Yes.
she was doing illegal butt injections and her butt just kept growing.
Right.
And it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and wasn't that the scene when she
Wow.
was
I
dancing,
didn't see
she
that.
fell on the floor and exploded everywhere?
Yes.
The butt splattered.
The blood
And she,
splattered.
and she almost died.
almost died from
But
sepsis.
even though it was a show, that still emulates what can happen.
Right.
What can actually take place.
So you're
That's
putting
a
very
very high
possible.
life.
It was very possible.
You put
right?
a toxic. You literally were putting Home Depot silicone.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw a ID investigation show like that, and this woman was nuts. I
Was
mean,
it the
what she was-
obsession with
Again,
you or
goes
something
to
like
the-
that?
Yes. I mean, it's crazy. But you feel good about yourself. There's no need to do all of that.
But is it okay to like think about something like that? Like,
I went as far as I went to the doctor, and they drew lines on me.
If I
and
put on
it is human to think that. Yeah.
Let me tell you how far I went. I had paid for my surgery. Paid in full. Had a date and everything. And didn't get it done.
you see?
Had the money reversed back to me.
Yeah,
man.
Paid in full.
Wow.
I've had the conversation, and
Paid in
I
full.
would say I'm thankful for the conversations I've had actually within the last 2 months, and the whole thing was, let the boobs do what they're gonna do. You're beautiful just the way you are.
Absolutely.
And once you start pulling on that, you're gonna pull, because I was entertaining it for a moment, but I sought wise counsel when I entertained it, because again,
that's right. Because once
Yeah,
you do
it's-
one,
yeah.
it's just like if you change carpet in one room,
you got
then the other rooms the carpet look crazy.
Right.
I have to admit,
And
I had a breast reduction and uplift when I was 30.
But that's different because of back issues. And,
And that's why I did it,
Right, now
because
you're
of my
right.
back issues.
Right.
And I have to say the girls are still kind of perky. Thank you for the procedure. But
Making lemonade out of lemon.
hello. But like I said, I did it because of my back, the sciatica and the back
Right.
pain and all of that. So there was a purpose. It wasn't because I didn't think I looked good or I wanted to change how how my body parts looked or whatever. I did it for medical reasons, and I never regretted that. But I also did it with board certified physician from the hospital where I worked.
Yeah.
And I knew the doctor, and even though I did it in Jersey at a different hospital, I felt comfortable. I knew the doctor. I knew his record. He was a certified board cosmetologist. Not cosmetologist.
I know what you mean. Plastic surgery, things like that.
Yeah. So
I felt mine were medically needed. I nursed one child for 2 years and the other one for a year and a half. So I felt that my medical problem.
I like that. Her opinion. But you know what? At the end, it really, that's what it's about, your opinion. And then it goes back to self-love. As long as you know your why, and you can stand on your square,
and you're good.
there's not a problem with that. It's when you don't know your intrinsic why.
Absolutely.
And if it's an external why, then there's the issue of the mental
I want to look like
Absolutely.
Kim Kardashian.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
That's
nothing you
external.
do to yourself is going to change this.
Like, where you go, that's where you'll be.
What's the saying? Wherever you go, there you are.
I know we got to get ready and wrap it up.
I know.
And I just want
do
to
we?
say,
Go ahead, Tiffany.
I just want to say that the world has really changed, and I will say that to say, when I was younger, I had a shape, nice shape. When I was in school, everybody was like, "Oh, Tiffany with the big booty. She's got the one with the big booty. The one jeans."
Well, actually, she had the
And
heart-shaped
now-
booty.
Right, heart-shaped booty. They used to say, well,
Yeah, I
heart-shaped
used to
booty.
have a heart-shaped
But
booty
now
in high school.
we see how the world has evolved because now it's your butt is not big enough.
Right.
Because we see everybody else that has had their butt done.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we who don't have anything that never had anything done, we're not enough for the image that they're portraying.
But
out
you
here.
are enough.
But you are
But you
enough.
are enough. We are enough. I just love you guys so much. I just love this family. I just love the sistership.
All the sistership
And
the bomb.
if we can all take maybe 15 seconds to share how we can help our sisters and our brothers out there in reference to body imaging, and we'll start with Lady K.
again, like Mama C said, it always goes back to self-love. I just keep saying, love yourself. Keep working on yourself. Like you said, it's a process. You're what? And at your age, and you say you're still working on yourself. It's a never-ending process. Continue to work on yourself and give yourself that self-love.
You know what? I think that was enough.
Yeah.
That was so perfect and apropos.
Absolutely.
We at the Sistahship, we love you. We are here every Sunday. Every Sunday
Hello.
at 2 o'clock. GenesisRadio.com, we love you. And Wednesdays for the midday.
And you'll find my podcast. It's called the Heal Thy Body Initiative, where we deal with just this. And right now we're doing a 30-day walking initiative.
30-day walking initiative. So if you
We're going to start all over again September 1st.
all right, so that's next week. That's
No, that's
2 days.
tomorrow.
That's
Tuesday.
That's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So
we're going to get
we gonna walk? What? I'm gonna get follow this
The
up.
podcast.
go on the podcast. All right.
Come to the Facebook
Go to the
page.
We love you. We love you. Everybody, come on. Peace out. Peace out. It's your girl, Tiffany Rowe.
That was good.
I want one.
Yeah, we on a sister ship. Come with us, we on a sister ship. Yeah, we on a sister ship. Roll with us, we on a sister ship.
Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. Sistership, we got this now. Come on, let's talk about it. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. We're my sisters, we got this, sisters. You roll with me and I'll roll with ya. Substance, sis, you know we on a mission, no games. Help each other get over some things, build strength, bring change. Cause we've been through the rain, now it's time to shine like Bling. Let's talk about life skills. We building up our quality to right wills. We rolling out of poverty, love heals. So we become the prodigy of how a sistership could be a really hot commodity. Stand together, we united, hold hands. Support each other dreams and our plans, doing everything we can. Just to show we understand the power of a friendship fam. Live life on purpose, together we learning. Yeah, let's talk, we don't wanna see you hurt. And we here for each other, no matter the color, networking. That's for sure and for certain. Come on.